Stop wishing, start working. That's the formula. You see, wishing is easy. Anybody can do it. You can sit all day long and wish for a better life, wish for a better job, wish for more money, wish for better health, wish for a brighter future. But wishing by itself changes nothing. If wishing worked, everybody would already be living their dream life. But look around. Most people aren't where they want to be, not because they lack wishes, but because they lack work. Wishing gives you the illusion of movement. It makes you feel like you're doing something, because in your mind you see yourself achieving. You see yourself happy. You see yourself successful. But when you come back to reality, nothing has moved. It's like being on a rocking chair. Lots of motion, but no progress. People spend their lives saying, "One day I'll do this. Someday I'll get around to that. Maybe when things are easier. Maybe when I get a lucky break." But someday doesn't exist. It's not on the calendar. Monday exists. Tuesday exists, but someday. That's just a story we tell ourselves to stay comfortable. You can spend 10, 20, 30 years wishing, and when you finally look back, you realize all you have left is regret. Wishing is cheap. Wishing is safe. Wishing is comfortable. And comfort is the enemy of growth. Now let me tell you why people love wishing. Because wishing doesn't cost you anything in the moment. It doesn't require pain. It doesn't demand discipline. It doesn't force you to get uncomfortable. When you wish, you can imagine the life you want without taking responsibility for building it. You get to feel the pleasure of the dream without the price of the effort. And that's why most people stay stuck. They want the reward without the risk, the harvest without the planting, the success without the sacrifice. But it doesn't work that way. Here's the truth: life responds to work, not wishes. The farmer doesn't sit on his porch wishing for corn to grow. He goes out, breaks the soil, plants the seeds, waters the land, protects it from weeds, and then, only then, does the harvest come. And life works the same way. You want better health. You plant the seed of exercise, of good nutrition, of rest. You want wealth. You plant the seed of saving, of investing, of learning new skills. You want stronger relationships. You plant the seed of time, attention, kindness, forgiveness. Wishing for these things without planting the seeds is like standing in an empty field and waiting for crops to grow. You'll be waiting forever. So the first step to change is decision. Nothing moves until you decide. A wish is a weak hope, but a decision is a strong commitment. A decision says, enough. I will no longer wait. I will no longer hope. I will no longer keep dreaming without action. From today, I will move. The moment you decide, your energy shifts, your mind clears, your direction becomes visible. Without a decision, you wander. With a decision, you focus. But decisions don't come out of thin air. They come from philosophy, from the way you see life. Some people believe success is a matter of luck, a roll of the dice, something that happens to a chosen few. So they sit, they wait, they wish. Other people believe success is built, earned, designed. They believe that if it's going to be, it's up to them. That's the philosophy of working. Your philosophy shapes your choices. Your choices shape your habits, and your habits shape your future. If your philosophy is wrong, your results will be wrong. If your philosophy is strong, your results will be strong. Let's talk about excuses for a moment. Excuses are the companion of wishes. People say, I would, but I don't have time. I would, but I don't have money. I would, but I don't know the right people. These excuses might sound good, but they don't change anything. Everybody has the same 24 hours. Most of the wealthy started without money, and the right people usually show up once you start moving, not while you're standing still. Excuses protect the comfort zone, but they rob you of progress. The way out of wishing is not to dream bigger, but to work smaller. Start with the small disciplines. Instead of saying, I wish I could lose weight, take a 20-minute walk today. Instead of saying, I wish I could read more, start with 10 pages tonight. Instead of saying, I wish I had savings, set aside just a small percentage of your income. Small steps done daily change everything. People underestimate the power of small steps because the results aren't immediate. They say, what's the use of 10 pages? What's the use of a short walk? What's the use of saving a few dollars? But over time, those small choices multiply. 10 pages a day becomes several books a year. A walk a day becomes a stronger body. A little savings each week becomes security and wealth. Success is not built by dramatic leaps. It is built by consistent steps. Now let me take you back to the farmer. He knows a timeless principle, the law of the harvest. You reap what you sow, later than you sow, and greater than you sow. Plant nothing, reap nothing. Plant little, reap little. Plant consistently, reap abundantly. That's not philosophy, that's law. And the same law applies to life. Sow laziness, reap poverty. Sow learning, reap wisdom. Sow kindness, reap friendship. Sow nothing, reap regret. The law of the harvest is always at work. And here's what's beautiful, the harvest is always greater than the seed. A small seed can create a huge tree. One good habit, practiced daily, can transform your entire life. Reading 10 pages a day doesn't just give you information. It changes your mind. It reshapes your philosophy. It opens opportunities you never imagined. Exercising a little each day doesn't just make you healthier. It makes you more disciplined, more confident, more energetic for every area of your life. Small seeds planted faithfully produce big harvests. The tragedy is not that people aim too high and miss, but that they aim too low and hit. They wish for little, they work for little, and they settle for little. But life is too short to settle. Life is too precious to waste on wishes. Your time, your energy, your talents, they are seeds. And the question is, are you planting them or wasting them? Stop hiding in the comfort of someday. Stop sitting in the chair of wishing. Get up, decide, and plant. Because the future doesn't belong to those who wish. It belongs to those who work. The future doesn't reward talkers. It rewards doers. If you want the life you dream of, stop wishing for it and start working for it. Work is the magic. Work is what separates the dreamers from the doers. You can spend your life talking about what you want, but nothing happens until you get your hands dirty. Success is not a mystery. It is not an accident. It is not reserved for a lucky few. Success is simply the natural result of good work done consistently over time. People often ask, what is the secret? But there are no secrets, only principles. And one of the oldest and truest principles is this: discipline is the bridge between wishing and reality. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Anybody can act when they are motivated. Anybody can work when it feels good. But true discipline shows up when the feeling has left, when the excitement has faded, when the mood is gone. Discipline means you show up anyway. You follow through on your commitments. You stick to the plan. And here's what's remarkable. Discipline compounds. One act of discipline leads to another, and slowly, without even realizing it, you become stronger, more reliable, more focused. And the world starts to trust you. Because first, you've learned to trust yourself. Most people lose because they confuse movement with progress. They are busy, but not productive. They run in circles, but don't move forward. Wishing without work is idleness, but working without discipline is waste. It's not just about working hard. It's about working right. The farmer who plants in the wrong season can work all day and still reap nothing. The athlete who trains without strategy can sweat all year and never win. Hard work matters, but smart, consistent, disciplined work matters more. The law of the harvest says, you reap what you sow, but here's the second part, you reap later than you sow. This is where most people quit. They plant a seed today, and tomorrow, they expect the fruit. When the fruit doesn't show, they say, see, it doesn't work. And so they stop watering, stop tending, stop believing. They fail not because the principle doesn't work, but because they lacked patience. Every harvest takes time. You cannot rush the seasons. Success is not microwaved. It is slow cooked. You can't plant today and harvest tomorrow, but you can plant today and trust that tomorrow is coming. Patience is a discipline of its own. It takes patience to keep working when results are invisible. It takes patience to stay the course when the harvest is still under the soil. The person who keeps working while waiting is the one who eventually reaps. The one who quits early ends up with nothing but excuses. Along the way, you will make mistakes. Everyone does. That's part of the process. Mistakes are not the end. They are the feedback. You cannot improve without failing. You cannot grow without error. But here's the beauty: failure is only permanent if you stop, if you learn, if you adjust, if you keep going. Failure becomes your teacher. Success is nothing but a collection of corrected failures. One of the greatest disciplines is the discipline of self-education. Formal education can make you a living, but self-education can make you a fortune. Every day, you should be reading, learning, listening, sharpening your mind, because the world is moving fast, and if you are not growing, you are falling behind. Every book you read, every seminar you attend, every conversation with someone wiser than you is another seed planted in your mind. And over time, those seeds grow into new ideas, new opportunities, new ways of seeing the world. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Don't wish for fewer problems. Wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenge. Wish for more wisdom. That shift in philosophy changes everything. Problems will never disappear, but you can become stronger. Challenges will never vanish, but you can become smarter. When you improve, life improves. When you grow, your circumstances grow. When you get better, everything around you gets better. Now, think about this: work doesn't just change your bank account. It changes your character. When you show up every day, when you discipline yourself, when you fight the urge to quit, you build something inside of you far greater than money, You build resilience. You build integrity. You build faith in yourself. That is the true reward of work. It transforms you. Let me give you an example. Imagine a young man who wishes to be wealthy. He spends years talking about it, telling people about his plans, waiting for a lucky break. He buys lottery tickets. He daydreams. He complains about the system. But nothing changes. Now imagine another man who starts small. He reads. He saves a little. He invests in himself. He develops skills. He learns how money works. He takes opportunities. He builds relationships. 10 years later, one man is still wishing, the other is living his dream. What made the difference? Not luck, not chance. Work. Steady, disciplined, faithful work. And here's what's amazing. You don't need to do extraordinary things. You just need to do ordinary things consistently. Eat well, sleep enough, read daily, practice gratitude, improve your craft, keep your word, be on time. These are not spectacular habits, but over time, they create spectacular results. The spectacular comes from the consistent ordinary. Work is also the cure for doubt. People who sit around wishing often become full of fear. They worry, they hesitate, they procrastinate. But when you work, you silence the doubt. Action cures fear. Motion builds confidence. A step forward, even a small one, destroys hesitation. You don't need to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step, and the next will appear. Some people say, but what if I work and it doesn't pay off? Let me tell you, no work is ever wasted. Every effort teaches you something. Every discipline strengthens you. Every habit shapes you. You may not see the reward right away, but life has a way of compensating effort. The results may come in unexpected forms, but they come. The person who works is never the same as the person who only wishes. So the formula is clear: decide, discipline, work, and wait. That's it. Decide what you want. Discipline yourself to act daily. Work with patience and consistency. Wait for the harvest to come. And when it comes, it will be bigger than you imagined, because life always gives back more than you put in. If you plant sparingly, you reap sparingly. If you plant generously, you reap generously. If you give a little effort, you get a little result. If you give your best effort, you get the best result. That's the trade. That's the law. No one can break it. No one can cheat it. Life pays those who work, not those who wish. So here is the challenge. Stop looking for shortcuts. Stop waiting for luck. Stop relying on wishes. Start with what you have, where you are. Plant the seeds today. Build the habits today. Do the work today. Because the days add up. The weeks add up. The years add up. And suddenly, you look back and realize you've built a life far beyond what wishing could have ever given you. The reason we stop wishing and start working is not just to earn money or collect trophies. The reason we work is to design a life that we can be proud of, a life that brings meaning, a life that outlasts us. Wishing creates fantasies, but work creates legacies. And what good is it to live if, at the end of your days, all you have is a list of wishes that never came true? The goal is not to just make a living. The goal is to design a life. A life of purpose doesn't happen by chance. It happens by clarity. You must decide what kind of life you want. Most people never do this. They drift. They let circumstances dictate. They let others decide. They live by accident. But those who succeed live by design. They take time to ask themselves, what do I want to experience? What do I want to contribute? What do I want to leave behind? When you answer those questions, you stop living in reaction and you start living with direction. Clarity is powerful because it focuses your work. Without clarity, you scatter your energy in 1,000 directions. With clarity, you concentrate your energy on the things that matter most. And the amazing thing is, when you become clear, your discipline becomes easier. When you know exactly what you want, sacrifice doesn't feel like loss. It feels like investment. The athlete doesn't regret missing the party when he's clear about winning the medal. The entrepreneur doesn't regret the long nights when she's clear about building the dream. Clarity gives meaning to the work, and meaning makes the work lighter. But clarity alone is not enough. You must add character. Character is who you become through the work. Work done with discipline shapes you into a person who can be trusted, who can be counted on, who stands strong when life gets rough. Without character, success can destroy you. You've seen it before. People who gained wealth without wisdom, fame without humility, power without integrity. They rise quickly, but fall just as fast because their character couldn't hold the weight of their success. The real reward of work is not just what you get, but who you become. Patience is also part of the formula. You don't plant in spring and harvest in summer. Life requires seasons. There's a season to sow, a season to tend, a season to wait, and finally, a season to reap. Impatience is the enemy of growth. People want everything now fast, instant. But anything worthwhile takes time. A tree doesn't grow overnight. Muscles don't grow in a day. Wisdom doesn't appear in a moment. Patience gives you peace in the waiting. It reminds you that progress is happening, even if you can't see it yet. And don't forget, success is not just about achievement. It's also about relationships. Wishing won't build strong relationships, but working at them will. Work at listening. Work at forgiving. Work at giving. Relationships are like gardens. They require constant tending. Neglect them, and they wither. Nurture them, and they flourish. A truly successful life is measured not just by what you've achieved, but by the people you've touched, the love you've shared, the legacy you've left in the hearts of others. The same applies to wealth. Wishing for money never made anyone rich. Working with wisdom, saving consistently, investing wisely, and serving others is what builds financial freedom. And the purpose of wealth is not just to buy things, but to buy back your time, to free yourself for higher pursuits, to help others. Money is a tool, not a master. Without work, money slips through your fingers. With work and wisdom, money becomes a servant to your vision. And then there is happiness. People think happiness is something to wish for, but happiness is something you create through your work. Happiness is the result of progress, the reward of growth, the joy of giving. You don't find happiness by chasing it. You find it by becoming a person who lives with discipline, contribution, and gratitude. When you are working on yourself, when you are working on your goals, when you are serving others, happiness shows up uninvited. So, what is the formula for success? It's simple. Stop wishing. Start working. Wishing is comfortable but powerless. Work is difficult but Wishing makes you dependent, but work makes you independent. Wishing creates regret, but work creates legacy. Every day, you stand at the same crossroad. On one side, the path of wishing easy, smooth, comfortable, but leading to disappointment. On the other, the path of working steep, challenging, uncomfortable, but leading to fulfillment. Every day, you get to choose. The choice is yours. Nobody can make it for you. Life will not hand you success because you wished for it. Life will give you success because you worked for it. Now, imagine yourself 10 years from now. Imagine looking back. What story will you tell? Will you say, I spent my days wishing, waiting, hoping, and nothing changed? Or will you say, I decided, I worked, I disciplined myself, and I built a life I can be proud of? That story is being written today, with the choices you make, with the work you do, with the discipline you practice. So here's the final challenge. Identify the areas of your life where you've been wishing, but not working. Be honest with yourself. If you've been wishing for health, start exercising. If you've been wishing for wealth, start saving. If you've been wishing for wisdom, start reading. If you've been wishing for better relationships, start giving more of yourself. Take the wish and turn it into a plan. Take the plan and turn it into daily work. And keep doing it day after day until the harvest arrives. Because the harvest will come. The law never fails. You reap what you sow, and you will always reap more than you sow. That's the miracle of it. One seed creates 100 grains. One habit creates a transformed life. One act of discipline creates a lifetime of character. That is the promise of work. Stop wishing. Start working. Start today. Start small, but start. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Do not wait for luck. Do not wait for someday. Today is the day. This is the moment. This is the time to step across the bridge from wishing into working. And when you do, you will discover that success was never hidden, never reserved for the few, never impossible. It was always waiting for you on the other side of discipline, patience, and work. And that is the formula for success.